Hey guys, welcome back to part two of my discoveries from a comic box. Uh, you just never know what you're going to find. And I know my video yesterday, or a couple of days ago, got cut off at the end. For some reason, at least on my iPad, I can't get it to like record anything longer than 14 minutes or so. Now, I know there's ways to like extend your videos in YouTube, and I've tried to do that, and for some reason it just will not work. So I guess I'm going to have to keep my videos, at least for now, like right at 14 minutes or under. So sorry about that, and I'll get to what I was talking about at the end of that video in a little bit. But as I was going through some of my stuff in here, I found some action figures, and part of the big reason I wanted to get this room in order was just so I could display some of that stuff. And being that I know all of us, or most of us, are big Jack Kirby fans, AOK and Commandy action figures. And these are kind of cool. I think these celebrated, 75 years of DC. And, with the figure, you would get like a piece of another figure. So here's like a torso. And what would happen if you collected all these figures, you have like Commandy and Obsidian and Tyr from Legion of Superheroes, one of their villains, Alan Scott, Green Lantern, Zatanna, Hourman, and Gold from Metal Man. You would each get a piece, and it would assemble into the Ultra Humanite. And I think his torso is down here in the bottom. And in this set, with the AOK figure, you can collect. I'm not even sure who the Golden Pharaoh is, to be honest with you. The AOK figure. You got Jim, Son of Saturn, Sinestro Corps Batman, the Earth 2 Starman, Martian Manhunter, and Raven. And I think I've got an arm or a leg down at the bottom, and it assembles into Validus of the Fatal Five for all you Legion fans. So I thought it was kind of cool. Two of my all-time favorite characters. Okay, before we get to the comics, a couple of days ago, I got a great act of kindness in the mail from our friend Lawrence, King of Comicdom. I know he and several others had done some videos, and they had shown this, and I was like, when I was a kid, and I first started discovering back issue dealers, in mail order, one of the first guys I ever ordered from was Robert Bell, and I know a lot of you remember that name. But apparently he was one of the first guys to ever have comic bags. Now, I don't know if he invented the comic bag. I'm not sure how that story goes. I know I think I've got a comic book marketplace issue where it kind of tells a story about Robert Bell, but I'm not really sure where it is right now. But he was like one of the first ones to sell comic bags, and I remember having those when I was a kid, and I started seeing these videos, and I was like, wow. I said it would be great to have one of those again. So we were talking. He said, man, I'll send you one. So, like I say, doesn't look like anything but a comic bag and a backer board, but this is a Robert Bell comic bag. So, Lawrence, thank you very much, buddy. I'm going to probably put one of my favorite comics in this and put it on my display shelf when I get it all straightened out. So that was a real kick for me to get that, so thank you. Okay, on to comics. I got a few left in this box. Got some Wonder Woman. It's 221, more of the 12 Labor storyline with Dr. Cyber. Great Ernie Chan cover. And I probably got 3 or 4 copies of this book, and this one's real ratty. They've marked on it, and it's got color pulls and all kinds of stuff. But this is probably one of my favorite covers and stories. It's 220, Wonder Woman against Kronos. Somebody took a marker. Like I say, I've got a high-grade copy of this. I might have picked this up because it was in a lot or something. But I love the Dick Giordano art, and the art on the inside, I think it's inked by Krusty Bunkers. If people know that name, it's Neil Adams' studio. It might have been Adams, and 3 or 4 other guys did the ink. So the art is really good in this book. Wonder Woman 220. Okay, more 12 Labors. Number 219, as witnessed by the Elongated Man. I think that's another Giordano cover. Yeah. I just love that storyline. Number 218, got 2 stories in it. It's told by Red Tornado and the Phantom Stranger. And I'm thinking I'm not sure who did the cover, but I'm thinking one or both the stories were done by Kurt Schaffenberger. So another shout out to Sarah on that one. And number 216. I always like this. I always like the, of course I'm a big fan of the Marvel picture frames, but I was a big fan of like, where it had like the little heads on the side, or like the character on the side kind of explaining what's going on in the issue. So that's another cool issue. More Superman Family. 179. More Schaffenberger. More of the same. Number 178, Superman Family. I always love this story where Lois gets turned into the Bionic Girl. And a gallery of Lois Lane's robot doubles. Okay, here's, I must just picked it up because I got a good deal, because I probably got 2 or 3 copies of this, but this is my favorite unexpected cover, number 112. Neil Adams. Man, I just love this book. Okay, another one of my all-time favorite titles. We got Justice League of America number 28. It's got some kind of stamp on it. I don't know if that's meant to be a date stamp or what, but there's the JLA walking the picket line. Okay. Our Army at War 238. More greatness from Joe Kubert. Detective Comics 414. Great Neil Adams cover. I think Sarah just recently did a video with some Detective Comics that might have had this issue in it. Just a great run of books. I always liked when he did these covers, and he kind of did some of them like with a pencil instead of like doing the full inks and everything. It's pretty cool. Okay, Blast from Marvel's Past. Not Brand Eck, number 13. Trying to complete this run. I think I just got a few issues to go. Another great square-bound book. This one's in really nice shape too. But lots of fun. You know, Marvel kind of parodying themselves. Time for some westerns. More square-bound goodness. Mighty Marvel Western number 12. And I'm not sure. That might be a Herb Trimpe cover. Big fan of Trimpe. Sorry about the glare, but that's what you get with Mylar. Okay, I think this is a Severin cover. Mighty Marvel Western 16. Great picture frame. Okay, and some Silver Age Action Comics, number 365. Neil Adams cover. I think somebody might have shown this on the live stream they had the other night with King of Comicdom and Bronze Age Babe Comics and Metarog and a couple of other guys. I can't remember the name, but you guys might want to go check that out. Lots of great stuff celebrating the 80-year history of Superman. But, you know, any Neil Adams cover, especially from DC, I love it. Go watch my time here. Here's another one I think they may or may not have shown in that live stream. Action Comics 358. Another Adams cover. More Detective Comics. We've got a couple copies of this. I love this cover because you hardly ever see this. Joe Kubert on Batman. Detective Comics 350. This might have been the only one or maybe one of 2 that he did for Detective Comics. I know it wasn't very many, but I always just love this cover. Just love Kubert's art too. So, and some go-go checks from my buddy Rod, Dr. Silver Age. And more go-go checks. Detective 351 with the Clue Master. Okay, One more before I get to the last book. I think this is the only issue that I didn't have of this run that featured the Beast, Amazing Adventures number 14. I'm not sure if it's this one or maybe a couple of the others in this run. One of my favorite artists, Tom Sutton, did the art in this. But another great picture frame cover. You know, and as our friend Dr. Von Chilla says, he told me any 20-cent cover is like comic book crack. You know, you just have to have it. Alright, so when my video got cut off yesterday, I was getting ready to show this book. And like I say, I did a video a few days ago, or maybe a week or so ago, that, hold on just a second, let me drink coffee here. But I was, okay, I need to get back in my romance stuff, you know, and because I just love the artwork. Like I say, the stories, you know, sometimes leave a little bit to be desired, but I remember reading these when I was a kid, and I also remember, you know, back then in the 70s, you know, like every house had a stack of comics, and I go to my cousins' houses, and there'd always be like a stack of Archie, or like Sergeant Rock, or, you know, but I remember I've got 3 cousins that were all girls, and they were a little bit older than me, but they always had like a stack of Archies and romance stuff. And I would, you know, anytime I was there, I would just like, you know, and they were always laying in one of those little flat basket things with the handle, you know, like you put magazines in. And I remember just reading those, you know, endlessly, you know, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So, you know, later on when I got back into romance comics, I was like, oh, you know, of course I love the square bound stuff. And after I did that video, I was looking around. I was like, well, I want to see what else is out there. And I saw this book, and I'm like, wow. I said, I'd love to have that. And like I said, I saw like 3 copies, and they were anywhere from like $100 to like $750 slab. And I was like, phew, that's not going to be anytime soon. And as I was going through a long box, you know, I was like, oh my God, I pulled it out. My Love Queen Size Special #1, or Annual, as giant size or whatever you want to call it. I think Marvel did all 3, but it's got a great John Romita cover. And I'm not sure, but it might have reprints from like some of the other stories in the My Love regular series. But tales of romance taken from real life. You know, there might be some question about that, but anyway, you know, I would buy this book for the cover alone. I've already read it, but you know, just it was one of those gems. You know, just like the Commandy and OMAC action figures. I was like, wow. I said, I'm so happy that I found this, and it's in my collection. So, anyway, guys, there you go. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope everybody's having a great week, and I will see you soon. Onward and upward.